Knife skills are an essential tool in the kitchen, and I'm going to show you everything from a small dice right now to a Bernoulli. Now, it sounds scary, but it's not. But these are cuts that you need to know and perfect in the kitchen because they ensure proper cooking. So to get started, we're going to do our 1/2 inch dice, or a small dice is what it's called technically. I'm going to start by making a cut right here so you can see what I'm doing. But before I dive into the onion, I'm going to show you how I properly hold my knife. I take my index finger, I put it right on the front of the bolster, and I'm going to balance it nicely in my hand. See how it balances perfectly? Then my fingers wrap nicely around the tang. My thumb is on the bolster on the other side of my index finger. So I do have my finger on the blade on this side. So I want, if you can see, the knife to be an extension of my arm. That way, I always get straight cuts that way. So if I was like this, my cuts are going to be off. If I like this, obviously, they're not going to be even. So you want to keep, when you're cutting, this is the motion that you want when you're cutting your vegetables. So another technique that you're going to need to know for proper knife skills is you're going to move your body, not the item, okay? So what I want to do is when I'm like this, my arm is always perfectly straight, and I'm going to push my onion to my knife, not my knife to my onion. So you can see when I start doing this, how my cuts will be off. We don't want that. We want nice straight cuts. So when I do this, I back it up and I'm chopping. You see how now my knife is always staying perfectly straight. So that's what we want. So always, when you notice your cuts going off, position your body differently. Become parallel with your arm. So I'm going to make one slice halfway through my onion. Now, you can keep your hand like this or keep your hand like this. I prefer like this because you have to be careful not to chop off your fingers, okay? It's really going to hurt. Then I'm going to turn my onion this way. Another helpful hint that I always use is our cutting boards always have perfect lines going through them. See, so I have a perfect line right here. I've lined my onion up to that. Now I know that I'm keeping perfect symmetry. So now if I'm sliding my onion, I'm going to make 1/2 inch slices down in one swoop. I'm not sawing like this. I'm just going down. I'm letting the knife do the work. Let the knife do the work. That is the key. Pushing my onion just slightly so that my knife is always in the same position. Then I'm going to turn my onion around, and now my lines are perfectly straight. They're parallel to this line on the cutting board, and now I'm going to make 1/2 inch slices again, letting my knife do the work. And this is a perfect medium dice, a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. Now, I'm going to show you how to do a small dice, which is a 1/4 inch by a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to cut off this little nub just so that you can see what I'm doing more. I'm going to keep my knife as parallel as possible, make a slice, turn it around, line it up with my cutting board, and I'm going to show you how I do this. I use my knuckles as a guideline so that I can never cut my fingers, because all the rest of these fingers stay behind my middle finger. So I know that I can never cut it, and my middle finger is parallel to my blade, so I know I can never chop my knuckle, so to speak. So now we're going to go make the knife do the work at a 1/4 inch. We're making 1/4 inch slices, moving. So when you're looking at how you should be cutting, you're not looking on this side of the knife at your onion. You're looking at this side, because I can't see how far I am on that side. So now if I'm viewing this side, I can see that I'm at a 1/4 inch. So I'm just going to pushing my onion, make my slices, turn my onion around, make a 1/4 inch slices, And that, let me show you. Let me get one of these good squares to show you. That is how you make a small dice, 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. And now I'm going to show you how to do a Bernoulli. A Bernoulli cut is good for things like salad dressings, items where you need a small cut and you don't want larger cuts to overpower your dish. So I'm just going to clean my knife off. I'm going to give my shallot one cut down the middle, just like I do my onions. I'm going to line it up with my cutting board, and I'm going to make 1/8 of an inch slices. Super small, letting my knife do the work. All the work for me. You don't have to work hard. I pinch my onion to keep it together so that when I go and churn it, it's all together and I don't have to worry about it falling apart. Kind of look over my knife and slice down at 1/8 of an inch. And if you can see, that is a perfect Bernoulli. And these are some basic knife skills that will help you out in the kitchen, in your recipes, and they're great to master to become a chef in your kitchen.